again, and it is another evening with me for Walking in Spirit of Truth. This is John Craig, and I want to welcome you to this. We do this regularly. Why is my background backwards? What's up with that? Why, that shouldn't be. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. All right, y'all. It's great to be with you this evening, by the way. It's been a tremendous day, and I pray that you have had a tremendous day as well. So, as well as week. I hope your week's going well. Let me see. Let's see, what can we do? Can't do it there. Used to be able to do it there. What happened? It's not there. Where is it? Gotta be not there. Oh, right here. There we go. Now you can read my background. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, y'all can see that better. It's better to see it that way, right? Oh, how did that get switched around? Of all different things. You got to see that Life of Worship in the background. So Life of Worship Ministries, yeah, behind my shoulder is Ministries. Um, but be actually behind the chair. But nevertheless, it is uh, here on the Lamb Network. We are um, from Ministry Life of Worship Ministries. And you can watch us on the Life of Worship Ministries YouTube channel. You can pick it up and pick up our Torah portion that we do on Shabbat, where we have noon Central Time. You can join us there at that point in time. And you can actually, we send links out to anybody that wants to join us on the screen with us as well as those that are joining us in the chat. But we always love to hear and see people audibly. And if you don't want to show up on camera, you can at least show up audibly, and we can um, hear your point of view, your ideas that go along with the Torah portion. But we do that on Shabbat at noon Central. We do that for a couple hours, take an hour break, and we come back for our regular encounter service, which is at 3 p.m. Central Time. And we have a time, it's split up in two different streams, but all one service where we have a time of praise and worship ministry. And we follow up with a message. And the message can vary from all sorts of different things. We want to present a timely message for everybody that's with us. That's encouraging, that's inspiring. Things that you can dig into, things that you can chew on, and things you can be motivated by in your walk. So that's what we do on Shabbat. But we do a deep dive into the Torah portion, and we have a great discussion. So we would love to have you with us. We do some other broadcasts here on the Lamb Network. We do the Monday Morning War Room. We do the Let Us Reason Together on Mondays, and which I want to give a shout out to Eddie and Tammy Johnson, because they handled the whole show without me because a computer glitch, error, whatever. I had completely download Windows 11 on the computer. I mean, insane. Never had that happen before, but it went completely wacky. And I finally got in for the last 10 minutes of the show. But that was this past Monday. But on our Mondays, we do Let Us Reason Together. And then Pastor Sandy, Sandy and I pastor Life of Worship here in Amarillo, and she's doing a new show. What's it called? The World We Live In. They do a great job. You want to check it out on Thursday mornings at 8:30 Central Time. That would be 9:30 Eastern Time. Wherever you're at, you just adjust the time zone, apparently, whatever it is. She and Mark David Smith, and they hit some subjects, and it's very much worth your time. So those are some things that we do here at on Lamb Network, as well as the Life of Worship Ministries YouTube channel. And by the way, all of our Life of Worship Ministries teachings, our Torah portions, the series that we've done, we've got several years here on the Life of Worship Ministries YouTube channel, but our old channel, which was taken away by YouTube, and then we got it back, is Life of Worship Amarillo. So, Amarillo, you can look it up on the map. Amarillo, that's where we live. But we dropped the O because there wasn't enough space to put it all in. So it's just Life of Worship Amarillo. On there, there's a ton of series and teachings and things that are very, very well studied out, and they're there for your education, your learning, for your inspiration, for your motivation. We It's not behind a paywall. Many ministries out there, they put their teachings behind a paywall. I understand why they do that. We haven't done it. Um, but so it's there for you. But here's the flip side of it, because you know the message is free. Ministry is not free. It costs money. It costs things. And so we always ask people, say, be part of our ministry, and financially, and as well as prayer partners, financial partners, and come be with us locally. If you're local, you're somewhere near the Panhandle of Texas, and you don't have a congregation to come join, you can join us here and be with us on our Shabbat services, where we're meeting right now over at the Stay Bridge Inn in the meeting room just behind Mardell Books, so off of I-40 and Western. So you come by and you join us and be part of our congregation. We'd love to have you. We're going to have a Passover dinner coming up in of course, we're on the priestly calendar. So I know some people on the Hillel calendar are doing it this week, but we will be doing our Passover dinner next Tuesday. So Tuesday, April 7th in the evening. And we would love for you to come join us. And we typically um, have that online, so anybody wants to join us and go through the process and go through the Haggadah with us, we can send one out to you. And we'd love for you to be part of it in our observance of that day and the participation of it, because this is quite a year. And I'm telling you, during the feast days and things are going on around the world, my antennas are up, your antennas should be up, and because this could be quite a spectacular Passover. So join us. Join us. All right. That's all of that stuff out of the way. Oh yeah, like, well, how do we get more information? Well, you can go to www.lifeofworshipamarillo.org, and there you can find information about our ministry. You can find out about events that are coming up. You can find out about a lot of different things that are happening. But yeah, just check it out. Oh, here's something else. Here's our YouTube channel. It's right here. Yeah, it's that's our old one, Life of Worship Amarillo. See how it's spelled? Yeah. So that's for you, and that's for you to check out on your free time, and just peruse all the different teachings, all the ones that we've collected over the years here, from doing teachings and shows on the Lamb Network.tv, as well as what we've done at Life of Worship Ministries. So, all right. Is that it? Is that what we're going to get to? I think that's all the housekeeping stuff I wanted to do today. And and while you can, like, share, subscribe, and do it right now. Just hit that X, get out of the comments, hit the thumbs up, give us that thumbs up, and like, share, subscribe. We would love for you to do that as well. Share the word. We have been going through the book of Jubilees, and it's very interesting that Jubilees is a calendar system. This was the calendar system that goes all the way back pre-Moses. As we've seen, we've been talking about the life of Jacob. We talked about the life of Abraham. We've been talking about even Noah, and before it's all in Jubilees, and it counts the Jubilees. That's the counting system. That's the calendar system. And that's why it's very interesting that Jubilees is an authoritative word that was even quoted within the Brit Hadashah. And so we find that there's authoritative information and theology and all of that. Don't know why I just lost my picture, but y'all just stay with me. But nevertheless, we have all of that information in there. Whoa, check that out. Well, let's not go there right now. I don't know why I lost everything like that. Bear with me for just a moment while I fix my camera. Let me see what's going on, why it's going in and out. All right, we're going to do something here. We are going to do a little shift. Why did that take place? Why did that just happen? I don't know why that happened. All right. Okay. I'm still here because I can see my audio is still playing. And I got to zoom back in. All right. See, you see how it is? You saw my green screen. Yeah. I even lost my green screen. I mean, it's there. Got to zoom in. It's just a little circle. It sits behind there. And that's how I can put up my display behind me. Oh, now you know the secrets. Behind me is a bunch of plants that we're growing, and my printer, and my papers. I need a file. All right, let's figure out why did I lose my background? I mean, it completely. Okay, it did that. All right, there it is. Well, Father, I just pray that it continues to work like it's supposed to work. Okay, let's take off this ticker that's going on right now. And let's get into Jubilees. All right, there we go. Still do see the whole green screen, but you don't see it now because you see Life of Worship right now because I can see it on my monitor. All right. Have you been enjoying Jubilees? Give me let me know. Put it in the notes because I think we've been having quite a discovery. We've been going through Jubilees as a journey. This is not a Bible study, even though there's might be things to study out within the discussions that we have. But what but it is a walk. It's a process. It's discovery. Just like we went through the book of Enoch. If you want to find out, I mean, it took us a year. I hate to say that in that term, a year to go through Enoch, but there was so much information in it. We also hit the book of Giants before, and it was really worth the journey. We did two Estras, also known as um, um, no, four Esdras, or Ezra 2, or however it's listed out. I got it. We did some other apocryphal books, and where it was very revealing. And what they relegate these to the Second Temple period, but from the discussions that we had and some of the studying that we had, is that it seems like, well, maybe they're uh, they're said to have been during the Second Temple period, as if they were authored during that time. But even as we've been going through Jubilees, it says that Moses is the author of Jubilees, and he received the download on it when he was up on the mountain. So when we look at Jubilees, that perhaps it was this, perhaps it was that um, that they recopied the scrolls of these books during the Second Temple period, so that they would have more. And these were the ones that were found, like among the Dead Sea Scrolls, as well as in other places, like in Ethiopia. There's the Ethiopian Enoch. There's also um, the scrolls that they found in Egypt. And we talked about how it was. I think it was Cambridge University went and they just purchased this entire library out of Egypt that had a lot of these old scrolls in. Many of them have not even been opened up to be deciphered, and which is very interesting to me. Some of them have, and it's amazing how well they just fit in, and they validate the scriptures. Like, do we need validation? Because the scriptures validate themselves, but nevertheless, it does that, and it validates the New Testament, and they all run in sync, and supporting each other. In fact, so much of eschatology today, when we've been going through Enoch and Four Estras, and going through Jubilees and these other apocryphal books, they really they show us, or pseudepigraphal books, maybe that's another term that you can use, um, that they support a lot of the teachings of the Brit Hadashah, as if we think that the Brit Hadashah comes out the New Testament is like, oh, these are like new teachings, but they actually are predated in the Second Temple writings, or what we call the Second Temple period writings. So I love that. I love the very fact that it just solidifies the case over the centuries. And even the 400 silent years, they weren't silent because we have the writings to prove it. So, all right. Well, thank you, Terry, that you enjoying our journey, and Tammy as well. So try to bring some life to some of it as well, because you get some of my quirky antics about it. So you never know what you're gonna get when you get me. Unless I'm just so focused and on things, and I lose all of my humor and I just become too serious. And I don't like being serious all the time. I like having a good time, especially in the serious days that we're living in. All right. I think we got up to chapter 24 in Jubilees. All right, it took a while for me to get here, but I had to lay down all that groundwork for anybody that's joining us for the first time. And so if you miss like you Jubilees chapter 24, yeah, we are like almost halfway through Jubilees. But if you've missed it, just go back to the beginning of Walking in Spirit and Truth when we started Jubilees and listen to it 2 times speed. And or if that's too fast for you, slow it down a little bit. But listen at 2 times speed. Put the earbuds in so it allows you to hear it better. That's what I do. When I listen at 2 times speed or even faster, earbuds help me glean the important things better. They just do. But that's just me. If you have good speakers and you can focus that way, that's great too. Chapter 24. Yeah, Tammy, isn't it interesting? We are at the midpoint of the Torah. I did listen to the Torah portion of Let's Reason Together, but I just I wish I could have engaged. I just was dealing with it, and apparently my computer is still questioning my camera, as we just saw moments ago. All right, here we go. Chapter 24, verse 1, where we had been talking about. That's where we left off. Yeah, that's where I marked it. Okay, I'm just making sure. All right, so remember what we left off on is that uh, Moshe was talking and giving this word. It was a prophetic word. In fact, like if you go back to chapter 23, beginning with verse 23, where it says, and he will wake up against them the sinners of the other people who have neither mercy nor compassion, who will respect the persons of none, neither old nor young nor anyone, for they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all the children of men. And you shall use violence against Israel and transgression against Yaakov, and much blood shall be shed upon the earth, and there shall be none to gather and none to bury. I mean, we're talking about Jacob's trouble, apparently. I mean, that was one of the things that you look at some of this prophetic word that Moses has given. Verse 24, in those days they shall cry aloud and call and pray that they may be saved from the hand of the sinners and the other people, but none shall be saved. I mean, this would be to me the rise of the anti-Messiah time period and the false prophet and all that when they go after the saints. And the heads of the children shall be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks shall appear like a man of 100 years. Oh my. Is that like a child of 3 weeks would be considering one who's 21 years old? I mean, I can't imagine a child of 3 weeks old appearing like an old man, but a 21-year-old who's under great stress, having a hair turn white from the stress. You've heard of that, right? People, because of a traumatic event and overnight their hair turns white. And will be like a man of 100 years, and their stature shall be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days, the children shall begin to study the Torah and to seek the commandments and return to the paths of righteousness. Because it's amazing what tribulation does. It that people are like, I need answers. There's a lot of people that since, shall we say 2020, because we know about the events that began in 2020, and since all of that garbage that went on and the jabs and stuff, and how many people are like, this is crazy, this is really weird, it's almost biblical. There's a lot of people that have turned to Yah because of those events. And apparently the things, when you look at the scripture and the things that are coming upon the earth, it says that men's hearts shall fail them for the things that are coming upon the earth. And because of the great stress. And so we have to prepare our hearts to be ready to deal with that. And I look at it as that there's a time of a sequestering away of the bride during this 1 year that where the bride is together with the bridegroom for that 1 year, and then the bridegroom um, takes up his sword and marches to Jerusalem, slaughtering his enemies. So People say, well, what about a 3.5 year tribulation, or what about 7 years and all? Well, I don't know if the scriptures actually, um, because of the way I'm looking at it, it could just simply be boiled down to a year or less, um, as in terms of that time of tribulation, the sequestering of the saints, the time when the the five virgins are taken away and the doors closed, and the other five virgins who weren't ready have to be out there. These are the ones that Hasatan goes after, and that we see in Revelation chapter 12. So these are some of the things that I'm seeing that Moses is talking about here. And it said, in those days, the children shall begin to study the Torah and seek commandments and return to the paths of righteousness. It would make sense to me that these are the ones that didn't have enough oil, and they had to go to the sellers and buy more oil, but they found that they were locked out. But what did they do? And when they buy oil, synonymous of studying Torah. So, and in the days shall begin to grow many and increase amongst those children of men till their days draw nigh to 1,000 years, and to a great number of years than before was the number of the days. So it would also, I mean, is he talking about now Messiah's come and now there's the 1,000 year millennial reign? Or, that's like a saying the same thing twice. But is it that's what he's talking about? And there shall be no old man, and nor one who is satisfied with his days, for all shall be as children and youths. Yeah, I would think that's during the millennial reign of Messiah. It'll be like our youth is destroyed, is not destroyed, is renewed. All right? Think about it. I would love for my youth to be renewed. I mean, Moshe at 80 took a whole congregation of Israel through the wilderness for 40 years, and his eyes were not dim, and his legs were strong, and all that. He had the vitality of his youth. I think that's totally awesome. I want some of that, right? Okay. She had a white streak in her hair because she was a passenger in a car accident. And it isn't that, yeah, it happens. Okay. And their day shall be complete, and their day shall complete and live in peace and joy, and there shall be no Satan or nor any evil destroyer, for all their days shall be days of blessing and healing. Because why? Because Hasatan is bound up for 1,000 years. Oh, just think about that. Don't you dream of that? I dream. I mean, physically dream. I would love to have some dreams like that. But nevertheless, but like dream, just like daydreaming about what would it be like for 1,000 years? There's no lame among them at the first exit. That's right, exactly right. And verse 30, and at that time Yahweh will heal his servants, and they shall rise up with and see great peace, and drive out their adversaries, and the righteous shall see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and shall see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. That is something else to be thinking about, is that at the time of Yeshua's reign, um, and he's established his kingdom on the earth, the enemies of Yahweh will still be in the earth. And would it be like during the time of Esther, where the decree goes forth and said, now you've got the right to go defend yourself, so go do it, wipe out your enemy, because enemy is trying to kill you, right? That sounds like that's what I just read. And the righteous shall see and be thankful and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and shall see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies, and their bones shall rest in the earth, and their ruachot shall have much joy, and their spirits, right, shall have much joy. Why? Because we're spirit. We're spirit. We are a spirit that has a body and has a soul, a mind, will, and emotion. And they shall know that it is Yahweh, who executes judgment and shows mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And do you, Moshe, write down these words? For thus are they written, and they record them on the heavenly tablets for a testimony for the generations forever. See, it's just worthwhile that we went back over and kind of reminded us where we left off. I know it was kind of repeat. You can go back to last week's episode, which would have been dated on the Life of Worship YouTube channel, which is, oh, come on. All right, that would have been the 24th. So March 24th, go back and check out, because we did talk about it, and we did hit it there. But I did want to recap. And that gets us to chapter 24, verse 1. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that Yahweh blessed Yitzhak, his son, and he rose from Hebron and went and dwelt at the well of the vision on the first year of the third week of the Jubilee, 7 years. And the first year of the fourth week, a famine began in the land, besides the first famine, which had been in the days of Abraham. And Yaakov saw lentil pottage, and Esau came from the field. Wait a minute, we did that. Did I not mark it? Yeah, because we already took. Oh, I missed it. We're on chapter 26. Well, it was worth going back and reviewing that word that was given to Moshe, wasn't it? All right. Okay, because all right, he was, but we did 26 already. Um, it's still being goofy, and I lost my camera again. See if we can restore it. Once again, do this thing. Well, there it is. The green screen is back. What is up? What is up with that? I'm on a different camera. I'm on the computer's camera. I'm just gonna have to stick with that till we figure out why this is happening. I'm probably have to work on it a little bit more. All right, let's do this. We got that. We're gonna take that out, and then we're gonna put this back in. And come on, join me. What about this one? No, it's too hot. It's not too hot. Why is it doing that? So I don't know if this is a StreamYard thing, and then it's throwing the glitches in, or not. Maybe. All right. What if I did this, and then I did this? Nope. Okay, we're just gonna have my green screen behind me. Oh my goodness. All right, enough of that. Enough of this already. Okay. Well, we're just gonna go with this. We're gonna use a computer camera on a different. All right, but we can't miss anything else on it. So just have to deal with the background as it is. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go on. Where did we leave off? Because Itzhak, Yaakov took off. We got to 20. We did get through 27. Right? We're going to pick up in verse. Well, let's go to chapter 28. And he went on his journey. This is Yaakov, and came to the land of the east, because we talked about Jacob's ladder last week. Whoa, check that out. That was weird. Okay. And then we went to Jacob's ladder, and we talked about that. And then he went on his journey, and we talked about this is pretty crazy. It's doing weird things here. Yeah, why is it doing that? Can y'all put up with that in spite of the circumstances? If I look down, I think it's trying to focus on my eyes. Something. Look down. Is it going to zoom out? Yeah, it is. Look at that. It's when I look down, it's zooming out on me. That's weird. Okay, so no looking down. We can't be looking down today. Got to put this up in a way that I can see this better. And so it's all right. It's live. It really is. It's just we got to deal with it. Okay, go with it. Thanks, Terry. And in the first year, the third week, he said unto him, "Give me my woman." Wait a minute. And he went on his journey, came to the land of the east, Laban, the brother of Rivkah, and he was with him and served him for Rachel, his daughter, 1 week. And he said, give me my woman. Well, we did that, didn't we? Yeah, we did that. And then we talked about getting the handmaidens. Come back. All right. And then it says let's go to verse 9. This command, I really enjoyed going back and look at the Moshe stuff. Right. And he came, oh yeah, remember, because Lavan was trying to do that thing and says, well, it's just not right that I give the younger away before I the older. I mean, that's our tradition in the land. I mean, how are we going to break tradition? We're certainly not going to mess with tradition, are we? But I'll give you my daughter. You just do the first 7 days. You get her, but you got to work for me another 7 years. So Laban said to Yaakov, let the 7 days of the feast of this one pass by. This is verse 8 of chapter 28. And I shall give you Rachel, and you may serve me another 7 years, that you may pasture my sheep as you did in the former week. What a scoundrel. And on the day when the 7 days of the feast of Leah had passed, Laban gave Rachel to Yaakov, that he might serve him another 7 years. And he gave to Rachel Bilhah, the sister of Zilpah, as a handmaiden. We talked about that, right? So we had two sisters that married Yaakov, who had handmaidens that were sisters, that became the concubines of Yaakov. They all gave him children. Technically, they were all his wives, right? Because they gave him children. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I'm right. And he served yet other 7 years for Rachel, for Leah had been given to him for nothing. And Yahweh opened the womb of Leah, and she conceived and bore Yaakov a son, and she gave his name Reuben, on the 14th day of the 9th month. So 2 months after Sukkot, on the 9th month, the 14th day of the 9th month. Yeah, it's like on the like 2 months right after Sukkot, in the middle of the month. Okay. But the womb of Rachel was closed, for Yahweh saw that Leah was hated and Rachel loved. And again, Yaakov went in unto Leah, and she conceived and bore Yaakov a second son, and called his name Shimon. And on the 21st of the 10th month, on the 3rd year of this week, and Yaakov again went into Leah, and she conceived and bore him a third son, and called his name Levi. In the new month of the 1st month, in the 6th year of this week, so like on the 1st day of the year, Levi was born. That's pretty interesting to me. Isn't that would be pretty cool, kind of studying that out? Yeah. Yeah, I did talk about that last week. I did, Tammy, talk about the handmaids were sisters. And so a little bit more review, but we're going to get there. And again, Yaakov went into and then she got a fourth son, verse 15, and called his name Yehuda, and on the 15th of the 3rd month, and we talked about that. That was Shavuot, and in the 1st year of the 4th week. And on account of all this, Rachel envied Leah, for she did not bear. And she said to Yaakov, give me children, Yaakov, and said, have I withheld from you the fruits of your womb? Have I forsaken you? And then Rachel saw that Leah had borne 4 sons, Yaakov, Reuben, and Shimon, and Levi, and Yehuda. And she said to him, go in unto Bilhah, my handmaid, and she will conceive and bear a son unto me. Which is just so interesting, because isn't that what Sarah did? And then Sarah was pretty upset with Hagar because she bore Ishmael, and she's like, well, all right, so she bore me a son, but I really don't like the situation. And you think that it'd be smart to repeat this pattern? I don't think it'd be smart to repeat it, but nevertheless, that's what they did. And he went into her, and she conceived and bore him a son, and he called his name Dan, in the 9th of the 6th month, in the 6th year of the 3rd week. Man, they're just popping out babies. And Yaakov went in again unto Bilhah a second time, and she conceived and bore Yaakov another son. And Rachel called his name Naphtali, in the 5th of the 7th month, in the 2nd year of the 4th week. All right. We talked about the timing of how the weeks and the months and the years are work out according to Jubilees. And but they're coming out. These babies are just like happening. And when Leah saw that she had become sterile and did not bear, she envied Rachel. She says, wait a minute, you did this with your handmaid, then my handmaid is up for grabs. Then, okay. And she also gave her handmaid, Zilpah, to Yaakov to be his woman. See, there we go. It's not really a concubine, is it? Because she gave him to be his woman. Does that mean she got 7 days too? And she conceived and bore a son, and Leah called his name God, not God, but God, on the 12th of the 8th month, in the 3rd year of the 4th week. I think these calendar days mean something. That's going to be for another time, but I think they mean something. And he went in again unto her, and she conceived and bore him a second son. So like this is going to be like, the next year. And Leah called his name Asher on the 2nd of the 11th month, in the 5th year of the 14th week. And Yaakov went in unto Leah, and she conceived and bore a son. So she just didn't go sterile. She was just taking some time off. And she called his name Issachar on the 4th of the 5th month, in the 4th year of the 4th week. And she gave him to a nurse. And Yaakov went in again unto her, and she conceived and bore 2 children. Wait, a son and a daughter. And she called the name of his son Zebulun, and the name of the daughter Dinah. In the 7th of the 7th month, in the 6th year of the 4th week. Did you know that Zebulun and Dinah were twins? All right. Things are being exposed here in Jubilees. So Zebulun and Dinah were twins. Verse 24, and Yahweh was gracious to Rachel, and opened her womb. There's a lot of kids that are born. So finally, Rachel conceives, and she conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Yosef. On the new month of the 4th month, in the 6th year, in this 4th week. So he was born on the 1st of the month. And in the days when Yosef was born, Yaakov said to Laban, give me my woman. No, give me my women. Give me my wives. Right? So it's just so foreign to us. But anyway, because we seem so Neanderthal. It just does, but okay. I don't think they meant that in a bad way, but we kind of think of that in the 21st century. So give me my women and sons, and let me go to my father Yitzhak, and let me make me a house, for I have completed the years in which I have served you, for your 2 daughters, and I will go to the house of my father. And Laban said to Yaakov, tarry with me for your wages, and pasture my flocks for me again, and take your wages. Trickster. All right. And they agreed with one another that he should give him as his wages those of the lambs and kids which are born black and spotted and white. These were to be his wages. So the ones that didn't have like the pure colors, so that would, right, black and spotted and white, these were the ones to be his wages. And all the sheep brought forth spotted and speckled and black, variously marked, and they brought forth again lambs like themselves. And all that were spotted were Yaakov's, and those that were not were Laban's. And Yaakov, his possessions multiplied exceedingly, and possessed oxen and sheep and asses and camels and men servants and maidservants. I know that's kind of weird. This thing keeps zooming in and out. So please don't be distracted. But nevertheless, he became very wealthy because he's got the oxen and he's got his sheep and he's got the donkeys and he's got the camels and he's got men and women servants. And Laban and his sons envied Yaakov, and Laban took back his sheep from him and he observed him with evil intent. Yeah, it's like, hey, my sheep are producing too much for you, so give me my sheep back. That's what he said. He said, and I bet she's like scheming. What can I do? What is it that I can do in order to take advantage, to deceive, to be a scoundrel like I am? Because Jacob is a moneymaker, and I want some of that. I mean, you think he already made Laban prosperous. And in verse chapter 29, and it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph that Laban went to shear his sheep, for they were distant from him in a 3 days' journey. Yeah, they separated themselves. And Yaakov saw that Laban was going to shear his sheep, and Yaakov called Leah and Rachel and spoke kindly unto them that they should come with him to the land of Canaan, to Canaan. For he told them how he had seen everything in a dream, even all that he had spoken unto him, that he should return to his father's house. And they said, to every place whither you go, we will go with you. See, that's just amazing. That's just really, it's, I mean, that's really cool. But remember now, over in Torah, Yaakov has the dream. And yet here, we see that he doesn't have the dream. He just tells them about the dream. But in Torah, he has the dream. It's time for you to go, Jacob. It's time to go now. So get your wives, tell them what's going on, and let's go. Or get your women. All right. For he told them how he had seen everything in a dream, even all that he had spoken unto him, that he should return to his father's house. And they said, to every place whither you go, we will go with you. And Yaakov blessed the Elohim of Yitzhak, his father, and the Elohim of Abraham, his father's father. And he arose and mounted his woman, or his women, and his children, and took all his possessions, and crossed the river, and came to the land of Gilad. And Yaakov hid his intentions from Laban, and told him not. And in the 7th year, the 4th week, Yaakov turned his face toward Gilad in the 1st month, on the 21st thereof. 1st month, on the 21st day thereof. Do you know what time that is? It was right after unleavened bread. So he waited for unleavened bread to be over. And Laban was out shearing his sheep, 3 days' journey away. What a good time to flee, right? To go. And Laban had pursued after him and overtook Yaakov in the mountains of Gilad in the 3rd month, on the 13th thereof. I mean, it took him 2 months to catch up. I mean, it's a little bit of a journey, isn't it? 2 months to catch up. And Yahweh did not suffer him to injure Yaakov, for he appeared to him in a dream by night. And Laban spoke to Yaakov, and on the 15th of those days Yaakov made a feast for Laban and for all who came with him, and he even fed his enemies. Isn't that something? It's like, you're my enemy. Um, you're the one that has done evil to me. But hey, let's do a serious covenant meal here. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna eat it together. I will provide all of the fixins, and let's do this thing right. And Yaakov swore to Laban that day, and Laban also to Yaakov, that neither should cross the mountains of Gilad to the other with evil purpose. I mean, of course, I don't think Jacob wants to go back, does he? So I spent enough time with you, and you're a scoundrel. I'm not going to go seek after you or do anything wrong to you, but don't come back after me, because we're separated. Done. We're over. And he made there a heap for a witness. Wherefore the name of that place is called the heap of witness. And after this heap, But before they used to call the land of Gilad the land of the Rephaim, for it was the land of the Rephaim, and the Rephaim were born there, and Rephaim, whose height was 10, 9, 8, down to 7 cubits. So they were shrinking. But that's still pretty tall, because 7 cubits would be like 7, 10, 12, 12 feet, something. Yeah, about 12 feet. Yeah. And their habitation was from the land of the children of Ammon to Mount Hermon, and the seats of their kingdoms were Kiriathaim and Ashtaroth and Edrei and Misur and Baon. All right, say that real fast 20 times, okay, if you only speak English. And Yahweh destroyed them because of the evil of their deeds, and they were very malignant. They were very malignant. Okay, all right, come back with me, screen. We're going to fix that too. Okay, and the Emerim dwelt in their stead, wicked and sinful. And there is no people today which was wrought to the full of their sins, and they have no longer length of life on the earth. In other words, they're dead. They're gone. All right. Okay, we still have time. All right. And Yaakov sent away Laban, and he departed into Aram Neharaim in the land of the east. And Yaakov returned to the land of Gilad, and he passed over the Yabok, like the Jabbok River, as we would say in English, the Yabok, in the 9th month, and in the 11th thereof. And on that day, Esau his brother came to him, and he was reconciled to him, and departed from him unto the land of Seir. But Yaakov dwelt in tents. Well, we kind of skipped a lot that's in Torah, so you got to put the two together. But basically, all we need to know here in Jubilees is they reconciled. No matter what the rabbi said, right? They reconciled. In spite of the rabbi saying that Jacob really wanted to bite his neck. But they reconciled because Jacob had a whole bunch of angels that were with him, warring angels, and made Jacob and his men very afraid. But isn't this a promise? This is the promise fulfilled that Yahweh said, that Jacob said, if you'll just bring me back to the land safely, then I'll worship you. I'll give you a tenth of everything. He said that. Jacob said that. Remember that he said that before he departed? And guess what? Now they're coming back to the land. And so goodbye Esau. He goes back to the land of Seir and Seir, and Yaakov dwelt in tents. Again, why does he say that Yaakov dwelt in tent? Is because he's a Bedouin? He's a Bedouin type? Or is he saying that he did not give up Torah in his studying of Torah? Could be verse 14. And in the first year of the 5th week in the Jubilee, he crossed the Jordan, the Jordan, and dwelt beyond the Jordan, and he pastured his sheep from the sea of the heap, unto Beit Shan, and unto Dothan, and unto the forest of Mahale, Akrabim. So he was like all over because he was very wealthy and he had a lot of sheep and donkeys and camels and a bunch of stuff and goats. And he was sent to his father Yitzhak of all of substance, clothing and food and meat and drink and milk and butter and cheese and some dates of the valley. And to his mother Rivkah also 4 times a year between the times of the month. Between the times of the months. That's very interesting, right? Because it's in the intercalary days that he sent these gifts to his father and to his mother. Isn't that cool? He on the intercalary days. In other words, he respected those days that add the extra days. So between the month, between each quarter. Oh, that's really cool. And to his mother Rivka. If you don't know what that is, you got to go back to the teachings that Pastor Sandy did on the calendar. And then you'll know what it is. And you understand why we shifted our calendar, because it makes sense. And to his mother Rivka, also 4 times a year, between the times of the months, between plowing and reaping, between autumn and the rain seasons, and between winter and spring, and to the tower of Abraham. For Yitzhak had returned from the well of the oaths and gone up to the tower of his father Abraham, and he dwelt there apart from his son Esau. They kept their distance. Okay, and for in the days when Yaakov went to Aram Naharaim, Esau took to himself a woman, Machalah, the daughter of Ishmael, and he gathered together all the flocks of his father and his women, and went up and dwelt in Mount Seir, and left Yitzhak his father at the well of the oath alone. And Yitzhak went, what? Esau the scoundrel, he took all of his father's flocks, the full inheritance of Jacob? Wow, that's just not cool. Okay. Gathered together all the flocks of his father and his women, and went up and dwelt on Mount Seir. Left Yitzhak and his father at the well of the oath alone. And Yitzhak went up from the well of the oath and dwelt in the tower of Abraham his father, on the mountains of Hebron. And thither Yaakov sent all that he did send to his father and his mother from time to time, all they needed, and they blessed Yaakov with all their hearts and with all their souls. That is not cool, what Esau did. But I'm going to have to say this: that is cool what Jacob did. He looked out after. I mean, Yitzhak was rich because he had all the flocks of Abraham. He was very wealthy, and Esau took it all. So Jacob was taking care of his mother and his father. That's just unreal. I mean, I'm just shocked. I mean, I'm shocked and very disappointed, and it almost makes me feel like I'm grieving a little bit for Yitzhak and Rivka. I mean, it's like he's like, well, I didn't get the blessing, so I'm just going to take what I think is mine, in spite of him selling his birthright and all of this silly stuff. Wow. I mean, this is real life. Like, this is real life. It took place. And on the first of the 6th week, he went to Shalem, to the east of Shechem, in peace, in the 4th month. Talking about Yaakov. And there they carried off Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov, whose twin brother is Zebulun, for they into the house of Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivi, the prince of the land, and he lay with her, and he defiled her, and she was a little girl, a child of 12 years. And he besought his father and her mothers that he might be given to him, or that she might be given to him to be his woman at 12 years old. Yaakov and his sons were wroth because of the men of Shechem, for they had defiled Dinah, their sister, and they spoke to them with evil intent and dealt deceitfully with them and beguiled them. Oh my goodness. And Shimon and Levi came unexpectedly to Shechem and executed judgment on all the men of Shechem and slew all the men whom they found in it and left not a single one remaining in it. They slew all in torments, because they had dishonored their sister Dinah. She was 12 years old. I mean, it's kind of like there was something that I had just recently picked up. It was about how even in Afghanistan, these parents who are like have no money at all, and so they sell their daughters to these, like they sold a 9-year-old daughter to a 72-year-old man to be his wife, and they for like $2,000. It's I mean, it's kind of like the way of the Middle East, and that's still happening today. And they expected that of a 12-year-old. That's I mean, it just doesn't fit, does it? It's just not right. And that's why Shimon and Levi were really upset. They said, that's not right either, because that's our sister. You leave her alone. So they took judgment. They just took justice in their own hands. Thus let it not again be done from henceforth that a daughter of Israel be defiled. For judgment is ordained in heaven against them, that they should destroy with the sword all the men of Shechem, like the Shechem people, because they had wrought shame in Israel. And Yahweh delivered them into the hands of the sons of Yaakov, and that they might exterminate them with this sword and execute judgment upon them, and that it might not thus again be done in Israel, that a virgin of Israel should be defiled. Well, that's it. That's as far as we're going to get today. I'm going to properly mark where we left off, so we're not going to do that again this next week. But oh my goodness, wow! This is better than any soap opera you can watch on TV. I'm telling you, it's action packed. You got the sword, you got this sort of stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed my rendition of Jubilees this week, and I'm just taken aback. I'm really taken aback at Esau. No wonder Yahweh hated him. We'll see you next time. This is John Craig signing off for Walking in Spirit and Truth. Thanks for being part of this evening with me. Shalom.
If you missed today's show or want to watch it again or want to tell someone where they can watch this episode, go to lambnetwork.tv, where you will find this show and all the other live Lamb show archives in the on-demand section of the website. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to tell someone about the Messianic Lamb Network. We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussions, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the lambnetwork.tv website. I'm Sandy Craig, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.